Argentina's World Cup final loss is still ringing around and it is still the talk of the town. On the pitch, they were despicable, disgusting, zero shots on target. It was an embarrassing performance. Not only was the performance embarrassing though, but the way they conducted themselves, it was thuggish. And that's being kind.
Got the kids scared, throwing beer at people, being scumbags.
Their players kicking people, punching people during the game. After the game, they're fighting.
Got your ass whooped. And y'all fighting? You mad?
When you look at what's happening in Argentina now, it kind of makes sense, because if this is how a bunch of multi-millionaires, in Messi's case, I'm sure he's a billionaire by now. If this is how these players are acting on the world stage in front of like billions of people, it makes sense that in Argentina, they would be doing this.
So after the World Cup loss, Argentina's decided to destroy their entire city, basically. Like, you can search up footage of Buenos Aires, and that whole shit is, like, gone. And it's crazy because, you know, people have been memeing saying, oh, all they got is fucking football/soccer. And, like, that's about it, gang. You know, if you go back to Argentina, bro, with 100 Robux, you could probably buy a mansion and shit. And it's really wild, man. Like, can y'all's taxes pay that? Genuinely, can your taxes even fucking handle that destruction? Like, that shit might just stay destroyed for, like, the next couple decades.
Argentina is not handling this World Cup loss very well. This is what it looked like last night in Buenos Aires after police had to come in and remove rioters following Argentina's loss to Spain. Police were in full-on riot gear, people throwing stuff at them. It was a mess. Back in the US, on the field, Argentina wasn't handling the loss well either. This is the closest we've gotten in the World Cup to actual football. Argentina players after the match fighting Spanish players who just won the World Cup, throwing them down, throwing punches. That was the best attack they had the entire match. Argentina had no shots on goal the entire match, but a couple shots taken afterward. And back in Argentina, if you didn't tell me the score of the match and you just showed me this, I wouldn't be sure if Argentina won or lost. Because as bad as this is, this basically looks like New York City the night the Knicks won. The only difference is this giant armored truck spraying water. And on top of that, apparently there were fights with fans in the stands as well. FIFA really let us down. They could have avoided all of this by just rigging one more game and letting Argentina go back-to-back.
Bro, the aftermath following last night's World Cup final is absolutely insane. Not only did multiple Argentina players and staff switch sports to UFC for some reason, but also back at home in Buenos Aires, their fans got a little rowdy as well, forcing the riot police to be deployed. In fact, many fans are even describing last night's game not just a victory for Spain, but a victory for football. Not just because of the poor sportsmanship shown by Argentina players, even turning their back on the Spanish as they lifted the trophy, but more simply because Spain dominated them on almost every measurable metric. Not only did Martinez have to make 11 saves, which is the most out of any keeper at a World Cup final, but also Argentina became the first team in history to not have a single shot in 90 minutes of a final. Their first shot came from Messi in minute 117. But that still didn't stop Argentina's president from accidentally posting the wrong tweet saying world celebration, and depending on how the team want to celebrate, he will declare it a national holiday. Wonder if it's too late to take a back.
I'm getting word that allegedly he scheduled the tweet, but the internet isn't great in the whole, you know what I'm saying? They got internet problems, so he couldn't like private the tweet in time, and it just came out. While I'm talking, I'm gonna put some of the scenes up on the screen of what they're doing to their own country. It doesn't make any sense. I'll be honest. You lose in the World Cup. Okay, that's very disappointing. And then you go to a riot. Who are you rioting against? Like, what? Oh, so we lost in the World Cup final. Let's damage our own country. Let's make it more difficult for the shopkeepers, for the people that own restaurants. What I think has happened is a bunch of these people have come together, right? They thought Argentina was going to win. So they're all watching the game in wherever the hell. And then they lost. And then it went left. But it doesn't make sense because you're surrounded by your fellow countrymen. Where is the anger going? Where are you putting this anger towards? You're just destroy. That is barbaric, I have to say.
Argentina is not real, bro. There was about 200,000 people out here before partying and singing. Then the riot police came and started shooting rubber bullets again, cleared everyone out. Now there's blokes down there playing football.
Yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. Genuinely ignorant, mind-boggling, reductive behavior. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions. This is not a good look. Argentina PR right now, stinky. Real stinky.
This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone. Blowing weed, smoking the ozone. I just can't let this go. This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone.